A little help for the worksheet called More Volume. Find the volume of the following objects. First of all, ask yourself, what is this shape called? It has two bases. It has rectangular shaped lateral faces. This is a prism. The volume of a prism can be found by finding the area of its base and multiplying by the height. Because the base is a rectangle, we know that that means we find its area by doing length times width, and of course we need to find the height. Well, it's 12 meters, 6 meters, and 9 meters. That should be pretty easy to do. You're just going to find 12 times 6 times 9. Be very careful with your arithmetic, and be even more careful with how you label your final answer. This is a hexagonal-based prism. I know it's hexagonal because this has 6 sides, and that's a hexagon. There are 2 of them, and the faces, as you can see if I shade this one in, are all rectangles. Remember that that's how we define prisms. 2 bases with rectangular shaped lateral faces. Well, again, the volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Because this is a regular polygon, the area of its base is found by taking 1/2 multiplied by the apothem multiplied by the perimeter. Then, as it says, we have to take that area of a base and multiply it by the height. The apothem is this piece right here. It goes from the center of the polygon and meets at a right angle to the edge. So far I know that volume is equal to 1/2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by the perimeter multiplied by the height. Perimeter, remember, means the perimeter of the hexagon. Hex means 6. They're 8 centimeters long on each side. 8 times 6 is 48. That means that the perimeter is 48 centimeters. So now I can do the problem that volume is equal to 1/2 times 7 times 48 times the height. The height of the prism, well, that's a little misleading. This particular prism is lying on its side. That means that the 15 centimeters here is really the height. So the problem that you really want to do is finding out what 1/2 times 7 times 48 is times 15. Don't forget your label. Look at problem number 3. This is a prism with a triangular shaped base. Well, volume again of a prism is always equal to the area of the base multiplied by the height. This base happens to be a triangle. So the area formula for a triangle is base times height over 2, but then we're going to multiply by the height of the prism. This is the right angle. That means that this is the base of the triangle and this is the height of the triangle. So the volume will be equal to 2 times 3 over 2 times the height of the overall prism. Your job, you tell me, which one of those 2 numbers is the height of the overall prism? Plug that value in right here and finish doing the math. Don't forget the correct label to your answer. What should we call it, and what exponent should go on your labels for volume? Be careful. Number 4 is very, very similar to problem number 2. It's also a hexagonal-based prism, which means you're going to use the same volume formula that we did before, which is 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter times the height. Remember, this piece right here is the apothem. Do you remember how you use this piece of information right here to get the perimeter of the whole hexagon? If not, back up the video and watch how I did it on number 2. And don't forget, this 10 centimeters, even though the prism is laying on its side, that's the height of the overall prism. Number 5 is like problems 2 and 4. This is a prism, but if you count the number of sides, you'll see that this is a pentagon. So this is a pentagonal-based prism. The volume formula is still that you need to find the area of the base and multiply it by the height. The area of this base, because this is a regular polygon, is 1/2 apothem perimeter multiplied by the height to get the volume. The apothem, remember, is this piece right here. How do I use this measurement, 1.9 centimeters, to find the perimeter of the shape? How many sides again are there on this shape? That's right, there's 5. And this 8 represents the height of the overall prism. The prism simply happens to be lying on its side. You should be able to do number 5. You'll probably need a calculator because of all the decimals. Number 6 is also like number 5. This is a regular shape. How many sides are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do we call that? An octagon. Because there are 2 of these bases, and the faces happen to be rectangles, this is an octagonal-based prism, which again means that its volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Because this is implied to be a regular polygon, this is still the 1/2 apothem perimeter, again times the height. The 4 centimeters over here is the height of the prism. The 3 centimeters is the length of one side of the octagon. How are you going to use that piece of information to find the perimeter of the entire octagon? That means that the 5 centimeters right here must represent the apothem. Good luck. Finally, at the bottom of the worksheet, you need to tell me whether the shape is a prism or not. If it's not a prism, you can just write no. But if it is a prism, you have 2 things you have to tell me. You have to tell me the number of bases, and you have to tell me how many lateral faces it has. I'll give you a hint. Let's start with this shape right here. Is this a prism or is it a pyramid? This one is a prism. It has 2 bases, and the bases are both rectangles, which means that they are quadrilaterals. Quad means 4, which means that this particular prism has 4 lateral faces. Can you tell me on the other shapes which ones are prisms, how many bases they have, and based on the shape of their base, how many lateral faces each prism has. Good luck.